Hey everybody, let's do a yard update. Some people have been really killing me to do another video, so let's get it going. Spring's a good time. This is when Tennessee kind of turns into a like a jungle. We get so much rain, humidity's high, and the temperatures stay high. Everything starts growing, but the weeds start growing too. So this area used to be our old compost pile. Like, we would start it here, and then move here, and then move here. This whole area, but now I've got it topped with a bunch of dirt, and yeah, of course it's infested with weeds right now. I need to clean it out, but this will be like a new planting spot. There's a bunch of buried sticks in there, and when the plants and trees get their roots down to that old compost pile, they'll be in business. So here's two little cool things. We'll do this area really quick down here, and then we'll move to some cooler stuff. I planted two pawpaw trees. Finally, I got around to it. I've been wanting to plant pawpaw trees for, I don't know, 6-7 years. There's one. Where that other yellow tag, there's one. Just kind of sticks right now. So I don't know. What do we got? 5, 6, 7 years until they look somewhat decent. Let's see. Here's the old chicken coop. I guess we'll do chickens again at some time, but I'm so busy, like, don't have time to even, take care of any of these areas. So one day I'll get it back together. We'll have chickens again. But down under here, even this whole area down here is like shade in the summertime, or in the spring, summertime, fall time. So eventually I'll get around to finishing this area too. I've been kind of filling it in with more dirt behind this little rock wall. But there's some stuff in there. There's some hostas, and obviously these little trees and bushes that have all just come up on their own. Oh yeah, this is a cool little area. This is like the only spot we have moss. There's like this trail of moss that's back here, because it usually stays kind of moist and there's no sun. See, this is stinking cedar that I planted, man, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. But it's like something taxifolia. It's native to Florida, but it's like critically endangered, and they're rock solid hardy here. But I was at a nursery one time buying palm trees, and the nursery owner was all about it, and he was like, oh yeah, just plant it, give it some shade. And I always kind of forget it's down here until I come and look. Like, I didn't realize it had its spring growth until right now. But they'll get huge, and they're endangered, so it's cool. I like it. You can see, this little makeshift rock wall down here. But I want to fill this whole area in with some more dirt, get it up higher, and then we'll plant some more shade plants in here. So I kind of moved all these sable miners around the yard, and we've had some bad cold the last couple of years. As you can see, it's got some damage on it. And this one doesn't really grow well because it's in like almost 100% shade, but this was part of the experiment. I wanted to experiment and put them everywhere in every kind of option, and see what they would do. So you can kind of see, this is what happens in Tennessee. This was all like bare ground under these trees just like a couple weeks ago, and now it's all filled in. So I've thrown like a bunch of seeds, like sable seeds in here, and there is a bunch of like volunteers and little stuff coming up. But it's kind of like our little wild forested area, and I'll keep planting more stuff. Eventually there's a big magnolia cocoa that stays evergreen. The wife's favorite trees are magnolias. Planted that one. So yeah, this bed I've been filling up with dirt and getting it built up. Let's see. There's another sable miner. So all these sable miners down here is like part of the experiment. Is just I just don't water them. Just they're on their own. We'll see what they do. So I've got those metal stakes have been in the ground for way too long right there. There's like 4 more spots I think I need to fill. But those are all marked for fruit trees. Like I laid them out where I wanted them, and 3 left. Yeah, I planted one little persimmon over there. This whole bed is like a hugelkultur bed. So I dug down, buried a bunch of wood that we had, like sticks, branches, logs from cutting trees down, and then piled dirt on top of it. And there's just I can't even name how many things are in here, but there's all kinds of bulbs and like black-eyed Susans and all kinds of wildflowers and echinacea, and there's those 2 crabapple trees right there. I had 2 other trees that I think that the deers knocked down, but we'll plant more eventually. But then anyways, this kind of leads into our orchard down here. So yeah, here's a little persimmon that's coming back. I just planted that last year. Here's a little apple tree, which weirdly enough still has some blooms on it. I don't know, that's odd. It seems like it flowered like a month ago. I don't know, it's weird. Those are pretty small ones, and then we got some bigger size ones. This one's getting to be a good size apple tree. That one, let me see. Yeah, that's another apple. Finish those in a second. Here's a bed that I built a while ago. Obviously you can see pretty beat up, but we've been doing sunflowers in here, and you can see them all back there, those fatter leaved little seedlings. There's a whole strip of mammoth sunflowers back there we really like to do. And then all this other little green in the front is all just wildflower packs that I spread in there. So we like to do big flowering beds when we can. So yeah, all these trees in here are all fruit trees. Let's see, another apple. Then the pears are in here. That's a pear tree. This is a pear tree. And then that's our biggest pear tree right there. Which this one and this one we get fruit off of. And this biggest one, for some reason, I don't know, can't remember the varieties of all of them. I think one's like a Danju, one's like a pineapple something or another. I don't know, I can't remember. But they're cool, we like it anyways. So no fruit, but it's a cool tree, and we grew it from like a really small size, like the size of that persimmon over there. So it's cool just to have trees and have this whole wooded area. We really like it. This is a mulberry tree, and we've got a big one back in that wooded area too, that the birds go crazy for. That is some kind of a crabapple tree. That one's grown really fast. I just planted that like 2 years ago. Puts on a lot of growth. Another southern magnolia, we really like those. Got a couple more around the yard. Let's see, let's get back in here. Oh yeah, you can see on this pear tree we've got some pears forming. Pears, so that's cool. It takes a while for fruit trees to get going if anyone's not really experienced with those. Like, let's say you've got this size, apple tree. So will it flower? Yeah. Does it flower better some years than other? Yep. And will it hang fruit? Yep. But it'll abort fruit a lot, and it will have like malformed fruit. And it's just literally it's just the trees like trying, you know, to learn how to do it. Like it's kind of like when boys or girls kind of look awkward when they start hitting puberty, like their voice changes and they get like a mustache and they're awkward, but you know, still have Ninja Turtle shoes or whatever. It's kind of what fruit trees are doing. So it doesn't mean cut it down or dig it up. You just got to give them time. You have to give them time. And the trees I'm about to pan to, we planted smaller than this, but now, you know, this one is a really good size and we get apples off of this each year. And then the one back here, this is our biggest apple tree. We like literally didn't even come and harvest apples, but there were so many that we were just picking and eating off of the tree last year. So these are finally like really productive, and it just takes a long time. Like trying to remember back, these must have been in the ground for 10 years. And they're finally, you know, to a good size. And they've got a pretty good trunk, and it's still a tree that is not like the size you could climb. But you know, I don't know, we like it. We like fruit trees. Keep messing with them. All right, let's keep moving. Here's another crabapple tree. Crabapple trees are the best pollinators for apple trees. There's like charts that show all the different apples that will like pollinate each other really well. And we've got a bunch of different varieties. We've got a bunch of Liberty apples in here. Yeah, I guess I didn't say any of the varieties. I think we've got 2 or 3 Liberties, which are like disease resistant, supposed to be like, you know, no spray varieties. We've got Cortland, Red Delicious, Yellow Delicious, Granny Smith. Pink Lady is that big one. This next to big one is some kind of other pink whatever, something. Forget what. Yeah, that's that Cortland right there. I think that's a Dolgo apple tree. Now I'm trying to remember all of them. And then up here we planted some cherry trees. One of them died down there on the end. We'll just replace it. No big deal. Here's this bed. Some irises in the front. And then, so with elephant ears, this was a massive clump of elephant ears that must have gotten 7 feet tall last year. So what they do is they end up pushing themselves out of the ground, like the whole bulb will. And if it's not underground during the winter and protected, that's when it'll rot. So it's not that they're not hardy, it's that when they start pushing up, that's when you need to dig them out, dig some soil out from under them, and replant them deeper. And it doesn't harm them at all. You're not like saving roots from the next year, because they put all that energy into that bulb or corm or whatever you want to call it, rhizome deal, and that's what regrows new roots for the next year. So it's basically called resetting, and you have to reset all kinds of different bulbs like that over the years if they just start pushing up too high out of the ground. But anyways, I'm happily surprised that this is coming back. It looked like it was dead, but I need to clean this bed up and plant some more stuff. It doesn't look like this. It was an elephant ear in here, came back, and that was an upright elephant ear, which I was pretty sure wasn't going to come back. But all this is, we just got more planting spots and we'll plant new stuff. So I've been digging off this Opuntia and digging out pieces and potting them up. It's good to have some cool big rooted sections, and I was going to get rid of the whole thing, just dig it out, and I want to clean up this whole bed and plant more stuff. But you know, I need like 2 or 3 full-time helpers to get all this crap together and finished, which I don't have. Here's Musa Basjoo. This stays in the ground, super hardy, and just comes back every year. This should be a really good clump this year. I would guess we're gonna go 15 feet high this year, if not more. We'll see. If I didn't have enough things to do, this is a new bed I'm building all along the fence line right here. And I'm gonna take the rest of this dirt I'm excavating in the greenhouse, pile it all up in here, and I've already got a bunch of plants that I'm gonna put in there. Sorry, this is long-winded, but show the whole yard. There's some kind of Japanese maple I got for my birthday last year. I really like. Just experiment, build all these different kinds of beds. Here's pergola deal. I want to put some clear plastic panels on the top, and then I need to finish it, obviously, like all this block work and brickwork up the stairs. Clean this out, put gravel down, and this will be like our barbecue area. We've got our grill under the deck because we were grilling over the winter time. Let's see. Yeah, so this will be like, imagine you're sitting in here eating and grilling, and then I wanted to do like a complete like cactus garden, which yes, there's a lot of weeds. I need to do that too. But this goes up the hill, and all these like kind of areas of the garden will all tie together. Oh yeah, I need to show. Yeah, McGuire, you can see that purple Opuntia right there on the side of the red penstemon. That's that Macrocentra that for some reason, I don't know, it's still alive, it's doing good, just has no spring growth. It's really weird. But like, look at how much growth is on this like dwarf Opuntia, and all those new pads on that one, and then all those new pads on that one. So I don't know, it's weird. We'll see what happens. So I'm really excited when the greenhouse gets finished to plant this whole strip right here. I'm gonna do just palms and flowering plants, and try and make it like a tropical oasis strip next to this barbecue area. So for now, what we did was in front, I'm gonna end up planting these 2 beds that are in front of the greenhouse area eventually, but for now I just laid down a landscape fabric on top and put all the seedlings. I wanted to move them down here because I'm running out of room outside of my house, and I'll show you more up there in a minute. So yeah, I guess we can do a little update on the greenhouse area. So it's coming along. I'm just about ready to be over this thing. I really like doing the rock work and just messing with rocks and mortaring and the whole deal, but it's like just this drug out thing that's just not ending. So I'll be happy when it's finished. But like doing these little walls right here to come down. This will be like the walkway when you're walking into the greenhouse, doorway right here. And this is all that dirt I need to finish digging out, and I'll finish that bed over there. But gravel floor. So these walls are coming along all right. And then you can see this string right here. So we're flirting with completion on this side to total height, which is, I just can't wait. I want it to be done, and then get on to building the actual greenhouse in here. And then this strip right here in the back, you know, we've got some spots where we're getting really high up there to that line. That spot needs some work. I still need to put the my like wooden anchors I'm gonna tie the greenhouse to on that side, and then in the front, obviously. Whatever, we're making progress. Shouldn't beat myself up, I just wish it was done. So yeah, all those seedlings, these are all Sable Minors, grew from seed. These are all Sable Minors that grew from seed. Got like, I don't know, well, probably more. It's hard to count. Maybe 2,000 or something, really. And then this will end up being a planting bed. I wanted to do another desert bed in here, but I'm not sure. I gotta dig it all out eventually. And this is like a south facing slope, so I figured it'd be really good for agaves, cactus, yuccas, but we'll see. Might mix some palms in because, you know, plants. Let's see. So these are the beds I built like pretty recently. Agave bed. Here's that other finished one in front. Put some stuff in there too. Maybe a big, I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm gonna put in there. We'll see. But this is like this back row area. So back here, I'm gonna dig a walkway behind that rock wall, and that will give you like access to this berm back here. There's Baptisia. I think we bought it as like Cherries Jubilee, but I think it's like a yellow meringue or some kind of stuff like that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's cool. These are all like volunteered wildflowers, some kind of yellow centered deal, whatever. Not sure what kind, but I like it. I leave all this stuff that comes up. There's a hardy hibiscus coming up. And then in here, basically this is like a whole strip of agaves in the front and yuccas in the back. Yes, it's full of weeds, and I need to take care of it. You know, if you want to come and help dig weeds at my house, come on, you're welcome. There's Hesperello parviflora. That thing flowers. That's really cool. Those are really cold hardy. In here, so people said don't plant milkweed, it's really invasive. Well, milkweed's a native plant, so it can't be invasive. Is it aggressive? Yes, it definitely is aggressive. You can see all of them. This started from just one plant, and it's like, you know, filling in this whole bed up here. But I like it. It flowers, helps the native pollinators. So whatever ones I don't want, you just rip it out. It's not a big deal. It's not like, you know, it's like choking out other plants. But yeah, there's a bunch of agaves in here. The lechugia, that one's got a little pup. It looks pretty banged up. We've had some bad winters in a row. There's a yucca rigida. There's a yucca filament, or no, yucca rostrata by Faxoniana hybrid. And then I just pulled out a small Faxoniana next to it in front of that blue Lowe's bucket, because I just bought a bigger Faxoniana that I'm gonna plant there. I kind of want that whole back strip of different yuccas to be like of similar height. But like clematis, that one's really cool. I like that. There's dwarf sable minor. That's Wakula dwarf from Florida. Flowering, we'll get some seeds again. Yes, let's go this way. So here at my house, I'm always battling Bermuda grass. Whoever decided that was a great thing to do here. So the thing that works really good here is just to build raised beds, and then you can just, you know, pull out what comes to surface. But raised beds, I like them. I like to build them anyways, build them out of different materials. As you can see, rocks, wood, just mound up dirt, whatever. But burying Bermuda grass is not the thing. It will always come back through because it spreads like underground by the roots. So you think you got it, it's just gonna spread roots and it'll come back up. Let's see. There's some elephant ears coming back up. Some dwarf cannas in front. That's a wildflower bed. Some roses. You can see our blackberry bushes blooming. We got blueberries back there. Let's go over here for a minute. There's the other side of this bed. See that sable minor, really cool. Always try and just keep filling in more plants. Just put another hardy hibiscus right there. There's a Sable Louisiana. Some cannas coming back. So that's like the main clump of the milkweed right there. But the flower smells so good, and I really like it. There's it's like a Chinese yellow banana, Musella something or another. So it's different than the Musa Bashu, but that's coming back. It's really nice. Some Spirea bushes. There's one. There's another. So all these pads I trimmed off of my big Opuntia. I'll show you in a second. And I could do this every year, and you'll never notice a difference. But then, you know, I've got other ones to sell and share, so people can grow them too. There's a Sable Minor that I just planted this year, and then I planted some little evergreen bushes in here. But that's that planting hole. I'm gonna put that new Faxoniana, which is pretty big. I need to obviously dig it out a little bit better. Let's get in here. There's some other cooler stuff. There's like a little Cylindra Puntia, if you can see it. I don't know why that one didn't really take. It's not really doing good. There's Agave avatifolia I just planted this year. Forget what was there that didn't make it last year. Let's see. There's that Yucca hybrid. There's Opuntia Dark Night. It's like purple, really cool. There's a little Agave Havardiana. Or Neo Mexicana, I can't remember. Lost the labels for them. Have to wait until they get bigger and then I'll be able to tell. Let's see. Sorry, I got like flip-flops on and I'm like trying not to die back here. That for sure is an Agave Gracillipes. That is a super hardy agave. That one's really cool. Put up a bunch of pups already. These are all small, of course, but that one's shown no damage. None of these have been protected. There's a Yucca Rostrata. There's a Yucca Gloriosa Variegata. I got a bunch of those. Let's see. And then this is like the top area. Let's see, that's Opuntia linguiformis. So this came from a patch that an old lady had in Tennessee, and it's not supposed to be hardy. And sometimes they'll make it, sometimes they don't. I guess like I had a friend that he gave me this piece, and his died at his house, but this one made it, and it's got pads galore on it, so we'll see what it does. So there's got all kinds of crap everywhere. There's a Cylindra Puntia. Hopefully that'll take off. Yucca Baccata. There's a little Opuntia in there. That is an agave. Can't remember. It's like super big one. Let's see, I think I have the tag, yeah. Hold on. An agave Pseudoferox Logan Calhoun, yeah. Because look at the height. It gets 5 feet by 10 feet, and it's hardy to my zone. So I had to buy that one up. It's not a guarantee that it'll live, but you know, if there's a chance I can have a massive agave, I'm gonna have it. So yeah, that back trail behind the greenhouse will lead all this way, and then I'm gonna make a path out here, just so you can cut through the back and I can get to all the plants. And what's the point of having plants if you can't go and see them and hang out with them? Another southern magnolia we grew from really small, waiting for that thing to get big. It was like dogwood. I should have gotten some pictures of that when it was in flower. It's really pretty. Let's see. Let's go back this way. Yeah, I guess we can do this. So here's a bunch of roses that we really like. Those are all Trachycarpus fortunei by Wagnerianus hybrids. trying to grow those big, and we'll see what they look like. And then this is where like I'm moving palm tree seedlings down to those beds, because this whole area is just filled with plants, which we like. But finally got some citrus this year in pots. We're gonna mess with those. Rice paper plant. What do we got back here? Some more. Hardy hibiscus. Here's that Yucca Faxoniana that I dug up from that spot, and then we're gonna put the big one there. Obviously, you know, it's not trash. Good one. Just need to get it back together, but let's see. Really like this area because I kind of keep all my potted cactuses back against this little brick ledge. But there's sable palmetto in there. There's another one there. Bunch of potted agaves and yuccas and little stuff. Cactuses, obviously. These are all mostly sable minors, but there's some other stuff in here too. So all the sable minors in there are going to move down to that bed, those beds that are covered with landscape fabric, and I'm going to keep all the rest of them up here. You just separate everything. These are a bunch of, well, anyways, that palm I'm got to ship out today. There's a couple more that are all for sale. Medfan palm in a pot. Washingtonia, probably hybrid in a pot. Various other seedlings, Tamaulipas, Blountstown dwarf, some Bermudanas, some other stuff in there. And we got a bunch of elephant ears and cannas that are all coming up right there. Stuff to fool with and put in, sell. Here's some yuccas that I got pieces of unrooted. We're trying to root them right now. This used to be our like vegetable bed, and then I'm tired of like being the only one that takes care of vegetables, so we didn't do it, and I tore most of the dirt, half the dirt out, and replaced it with gravel, mixed it all together, and got an agave montana in the front, a little juniper in the middle, and then I got that yucca lata, which the center looks good. I got it, it was like basically just down to the no roots, like just like the root base, so it had to, you know, regrow roots and grow back. Let's see, in the middle there, that's bee balm. That is an amazing plant, super hardy. Just everybody get it. You got to have it for your garden. Grows like 5 feet tall, and spreads, you know, underground, so you can dig out like big patches of it and move it around, which I need to do that too. But it flowers just crazy, covered with bees. There's certain plants, bee balm's one of them. There's some other wildflowers that we have that when they're going and the bees are on them, you'll see more species of bees that, I mean, I didn't even realize existed, and I spend a lot of time outside, like small bees, big bees, black bees, yellow and black bees, bees that look like flies, flies that look like bees, just crazy. There's patio peach. This is actually a peach tree. It's just like ornamental, but it flowers just unbelievably in the early spring, and then it has fruit on it, but it's a cool looking tree. It's purple. There's a needle palm next to that. I guess we can walk down this path. Here's another blueberry bush and another one. Here's some more palms that I need to box up that are all for sale. That whole group right here. Some yucca rostradas. I'm gonna try and hold on to those and grow them until they're big. Needle palms in there, and then there's some windmills behind it. There's a bigger windmill. I'm gonna plant that next year. It's like a Taylor form, supposed to be really hardy, from North Carolina. And there's this whole bed. There's Sable Mexicana that's coming back. Hopefully it gets really big this year. I think it should. Another palmetto, clematis, various little stuff in here. It's yucca, silver anniversary I just planted this year. Coreopsis coming back. Black-eyed Susan. That is some kind of echinacea, I forget. Forget the name of that right now. Another clematis. Azalea, there's another one up there. Some other various stuff. There's a little salvia, like dwarf variety. Sable minor. Oh, there's a Riverside back there, which I don't know if it's gonna make it, but I mean, it's coming back. But I'm not sure if it's gonna make it long term. We'll see. Planted against the house, so give it the best shot. Another little sable minor guy. Here's some agaves I just got. So I just planted them in those pots and keeping them moist but out of the sun until they get their root systems back. But this is like a complete like shade section, so I think this is like a Chinese privet that's just really big, but I like it. This form of a tree, like a small tree that branches like this, but it stays semi-evergreen over the winter, so it gives protection to this bed too. There's some ferns and some other stuff in here that we planted. That azalea is really beautiful when it's in flower. It's just fading now. 2 palmettos back there against the house. Those don't look really great. That is a big thing. I need to fertilize everything this year and kind of get everything looking back good. So now looking this way, that middle path I need to weed eat, so we'll go on the outside. But this is like a whole sable row right here. So there's Sable Brazoria. It's in North Carolina, Sable minor. Here's a big Sable Brazoria that I just planted. If that one's in North Carolina, that one's an Emerald Isle Giant. There's a Sable Birmingham I planted last year. Another North Carolina minor. That one's a Sable Blackburniana. We'll see what that one does eventually. That one's another, no, that's a McCurtain. Here's a Sable Birmingham I just planted. North Carolina minor, Brazoria, Emerald Isle Giant. That's a whole row of blueberry bushes back there. It's more elephant ears, like a bed, just like on the opposite over there. And then that's like the blackberry row, bunch of irises, needle palm right there next to the patio peach. That needle palm is where we got seeds last year, and they're definitely were fertile, and I got some seedlings from them. So I'm gonna keep trying to do that every year and hopefully have a pile of needle palms eventually. But yeah, so you can see, like I was talking about the bee balm. So that's all bee balm in there. That'll grow up really big and flower, and the bees go crazy. But I need to get out here and clean up a bunch of these beds. Here's another, big blueberry bush I showed you. You can see all the blueberries on it. You get like, I wouldn't think it because the blueberries are so good, but you just get like literally sick of eating them, because I think we have 18 blueberry bushes. Let's see. Here's like under the deck. I've always got some plants that I'm trying to recover. So there's like banana pup I got from somebody on the left, another one on the right. There's like a community pot of windmill palms that I got for free. So I'm just trying to keep those watered till they look a little better. When I have time, I'll separate them and pot them up. And then here's like a little area. This is like complete shade under the deck under here. Sable Tamaulipas, hosta. This is like one of the first plants I planted was that fern, so I really like it. That's probably been in the ground 12 years almost. Really like it. Here's like some kind of flowering vine deal, but it crawls up here and it'll crawl up around the deck, and then it flowers really cool and white in the fall time. There's like a back view under the deck of the big Yucca rostratas in the back of this bed. There's Sable Latonia. You see the back of the bed, Slender Puntia, and then here's giant needle palm under here. It's hard to tell on camera. It's hard to tell from pictures. You can't tell how big it is. It's just massive. Trachycarbus wagnerianus I planted. Everybody's like, blah blah blah, don't, you messed up, don't plant it against the house, don't plant it against the house, you're an idiot. Well, palm roots are not like destructive to structures. If you've ever been anywhere where palms grow naturally, like go on vacation to Panama City Beach, Florida, or any other beach town in Florida, and there's sables growing out of cracks in the concrete, totally fine. There's sables growing like just piled next to other sables, totally fine. There's sables growing on the south side of buildings, totally fine, unirrigated. There's sables growing right up against buildings that have been planted or that volunteered, completely fine. So anybody that gives me crap or anybody else crap, you just don't know what you're talking about. What this is a microclimate. This is a protected spot. So I literally put the root ball against the foundation. Okay, I'm an idiot, sure. But guess what? The house is protecting that palm tree and giving wind block and some radiational heat from the brick wall to that palm, and it's going to give it a better chance of survival. And I've been doing this for a long time. Like, this big Sable Louisiana is planted right against the house and there's no problems. So cool, thanks for your concern, but it's unheeded because it's not correct. Here's big Opuntia. This is the one that all those pads are from over there. So like I said, I mean, all the ones that I took, you can see all the new growth on it. It'll replace that and some in a single season. So when they get really big like this, you just have to start cutting them back. You have just no options. Some lamb's ears, little sedum. Here's some volunteer Louisianas that came up off of the mother tree right here. Yeah, this thing's getting pretty big. I like it. Sable Birmingham, that's planted right up against the house too. Some dwarf cannas back there. Salvia, dwarf Sable minor. You see it flowering, how small it is, mature size. Penstemon, Yucca gloriosa variegata. That's the first one I got that all the other ones around here are from. This is a really cool bed. I like that one. Hopefully that this Birmingham, I need to fertilize everything, and hopefully this puts out like a bunch of leaves and catches back up this year. Let's see. Oh, McGuire, you wanted me to do these beds specifically, so let's see. Here's the Yucca rostratas. I need to trim those up because I planted some more stuff under here and I want to make sure that they get enough sun. But there's agave, Utahensis, damn it, I can't remember at the moment. Bunch of little echinocereus. There's one that's flowering, so it's got a flower, but it'll wait till the sun comes out and open back up, but it won't last too long, a couple more days. There's a little ugly old man echinocereus. There's agave utahensis by Neomexicana, another echinocereus. Agave utahensis back there, a little one. What is that? Phaerocactus Wisleznii, or however you say it. Just planted that this year. Another echinocereus, another one. Hens and chicks. There's an agave Tarmiana bella. I think that's everything in here. Yeah, I like this little area. Move the rocks around and gravel and just do cool stuff. Put small plants in it, but raised beds for desert plants are key, high and dry. Here's Cylindropuntia imbricata. You can see all the new growth for this year. It's all over it. I think I need to get the ratchet strap out and hook it to it and pull it back to the deck and straighten it out, because it's leaning over again and I need to straighten it up. Here's Yucca traculiana. That one's really cool. Can't wait till that gets big, but that survives winter unprotected, just sitting there. Better view of the front of that needle palm. Like 3 spirea bushes right here, which I've flirted with the idea of digging those out and planting other stuff, but I don't know. Obviously I have enough crap to do. I don't need any more projects at the moment. So this whole area really starts to look really good. This whole strip up the side of the house, I really like it. Let's see. Dwarf sable minor. There's that Yucca gloriosa, sable Birmingham. There's sable minor McCurtain. You can see that one flower stalk back there, but there's 4 down there that are growing. But that thing's really big now. Well, it's good size now, we'll say. So when I say that a sable minor is a dwarf, this would be like a full-size minor, and comparatively the other one is a dwarf because it's small. They're both mature flowering size. They're not fully grown. They'll both, you know, keep growing a little bit bigger every year. And I've seen McCurtains that were 9 feet tall overall in person. Have pictures of them. So that's another thing, is people are really confused about they may see a palm and like this is flowering, right? So that's mature flowering size, fruiting size, but that doesn't mean that that's the maximum size that it will get. That's just the size that you saw it at. Now if we wait another 20 years and this palm is still alive, how big will it be? Will it be the same size? No, of course it's going to be bigger. So it doesn't mean that it's a maximum size just because it is flowering. The reason I'm saying this is, like, going to North Carolina, I've seen sable minors that are 30 years old from seed that are literally 10 feet tall and have a trunk. So don't believe everything you read in books, or you believe everything that people with small palm trees tell you, because it's not true. There's other information out there. But let's see, a little rose bush I planted. That was, my daughter got it as a present. See what that does. Some lilies. Sable Louisiana, finally starting to get some size. There's another salvia back there. That's like the last big lavender plant that we've got. I really probably need to take some cuttings and try and root them just in case, because our other one that was down, it's actually where that Trachycarpus that I planted against the house down there is. It ended up dying a few years ago, so I need to make sure that that one lives on, because I really like it. There's another dwarf sable minor. There's yucca. So many plants, so many plants. Yucca allifolia. See what that does right there. Little dianthus. That back there is Sable brazoria. For some reason, that's in a really protected spot, and that one took a lot of damage this last year. It's growing out. It's growing out of it, but if it doesn't make it, I had thought that I would dig it up, and then that other trachea that I've got in a pot next to the garage down there, that's where I'll put right here. And guess what? I'll put it even closer into that corner against the house, just for all of you. There's Trachycarpus wagnerianus. That survived the last 2 winters, which have been the 2 harshest winters in a row that we've seen here in Tennessee. But you can see it's growing out. It's living really good. This one I've got a lot of hopes for. That is a Sable palmetto, and it sat right here unprotected this last winter, and no doubt did it take some damage, for sure. But what it did was it retained some green on its leaves. It did not completely defoliate. So I have high hopes for this, that after this season it has a good growing season, and maybe next growing season it'll have like some more full size petioles and leaves on it. And for sure, is it going to get banged up every winter a little bit? No doubt. But my goal is it growing to, you know, a respectable size, because that's why I have so many palmettos planted around the house. People are like, oh, you're 7A, 7B, they won't grow there, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Sable palmettos are what got me into planting palms anyway, so I'm gonna keep planting them until one sticks, and that's just it. I don't care what anybody else says. Here's a whole row of these dwarf sable minors. One there, one there, one there. You can see that one's flowering too. Oh, and the one right next to it. And then another one right there. So this is all cluttered in here, and I need to just weed eat it. But all my daffodils and crocuses and tulips all grow back here. So instead of just knocking them immediately down, I like for it to retain its leaves and put some energy into those bulbs for next year. And then we'll come in and weed eat this whole area. And I've flirted with the idea of digging it all up and just doing more of a like a gravel bed area with dried desert plants, but I don't know. I haven't, obviously, projects. I've got like 9,000 already going. I don't need another one right now. So this is the rock garden at the top. This one's really cool. These agave avadifolias just sit here, that one and that one. Don't take any winter damage really. I mean, I'll show you some leaves. There's some little, you can see on that one. On the older leaves, there's some little spotting, but I mean, they took -4 2 winters ago. Snow, ice, repeatedly below freezing, repeatedly down into single digits. And it didn't hurt them. And then this last winter, not as cold. We didn't go negative, but we went to like 3 ice storms, snowstorms. They're all good. There's a little dwarf opuntia. You can see all the new growth. There's all kinds of little sedums in here we planted. There's agave utahensis. I've been like berated by people, don't plant those, they won't grow there, you get too much rain. Guess what you do? You plant them in a raised bed. This gives them really good drainage. So the people that kill them is not because of cold, it's because of moisture. So you have to plant them, keep them high and dry, then you got no problems. There's all kinds of hens and chicks in here. Sedums, hens and chicks everywhere. There's agave Perrii giant grandkids from Plant Delights. There's Puntia basilaris back there. That one's I don't know, hanging on by a thread. There's a Puntia Black Knight back there. Oh yeah, there's let's get up here in the bed. We can see. There's Agave Havardiana that I just planted this year. There's a little dwarf Mugo pine. There's like kind of stuff everywhere. Yeah, right next to my feet, there's a Cylindra Puntia, snow leopard. Here's a bunch of just yuccas up here. I forget what that one was. I think that's a Torii. I just planted that one right there. Is Faxoniana that I planted from really small. So that one's finally like, just like right now this year, it finally looks like it's gonna sit there and start growing really well. So I'm really happy about that because they take so damn long. There's Yucca Helifolia Magenta Magic. So to its name, it turned purple this winter, but you can see it's got green growth. It's coming back, so that lived. Yucca Harmony, that's a little bit bigger than I even thought it was gonna get, because it's a dwarf yucca, but it's not too big for this area. It's really good size. Agave Tormiana Bella, that one lived the past 2 winters. That thing, so clearly rock hardy, solid here, good. There's Echinocerius, that one's supposed to be a Triglodatus. There's all kinds, like pretty much every crack between these rocks I put like hens and chicks and stuff in there. And whether they live or don't live is different story. Here, let me turn around because I was supposed to show McGuire this. So this is like the smallest Echinocerius. So you can see the gravel size. I'll put my finger in there, like how small that cactus is. But it looks like it either tried to flower and aborted right there or something. I don't know. It's got like just 2 heads on it right now. Hopefully it'll get bigger. But it's cool. Yeah, little Delosperma that flowered just recently. Back up and get out of this bed. There's lilac bush. That's like one of my favorite flowering plants. So I'll just keep trimming it back to keep it so it doesn't block the sun for this bed, but I'm gonna keep it there. That other Agave avatifolia, you can see, yeah, the old leaves take damage. Old leaves die off anyways, not a big deal. But the new leaves in here, it's all spotless, really good. Little Dwarfopuntia, hens and chicks. Agave Periicucii. That one's like some sedum trifoliate or some deal like that. There's a little dwarf Hinoki cypress. Some little Dwarfopuntia under there. Yucca rostrata, that one I've never trimmed, so it's got like a hairy coat on it. Yucca rigida, that one's got some really good green growth in the middle this year. Not that it grows every year, but it looks like it's gonna gain some height this year, is my point. Oh, great. I thought this one wasn't gonna put any new spring growth, this Cylindra Puntia imbricata, but there we go. It's finally got some. Because you can see like on this side, it always kind of looks like this, has this lighter green color to it, but there's no new growth over here. So at least there's some right there, that spot. Yucca filamentosa, flowering. We got what, 4 flower stalks that'll look really cool. There's a little yucca, I think it's it's filamentosa, variegata. There's another gloriosa variegata in there that's like hidden. Another parviflora. Here's a lavender that I guess is coming back, this little one. That was like our Christmas tree one year, because I don't like, you know, having a cut Christmas tree. I'll have one that I can plant after. Here's Dasylirion Leophyllum. This one, even like 2 years ago, I forgot to even cover it when we had that really bad cold, and it didn't take any damage. And then this last winter didn't take any, and it's starting to get bigger in there. But those will get pretty big, like 5 feet across, so it's pretty cool. Penstemon, Yucca recurvifolia, Yucca gloriosa green form. I really am like interested in getting some pups from that one. And then I need to clean this bed up too. There is Joe Pieweed. I got a couple of those somewhere else. There's some other little, what is that? Some kind of other Hinoki cypress deal, I think. But I guess that's it. That's probably enough of my damn rambling. Sorry. It was so long-winded, but there's a spring garden update.